Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about 10 products every feminist needs, because the future is female. So, generally speaking, I know that we do talk about heavier topics, but I did think that this would be genuinely interesting to look at how the feminist would want to market herself, because effectively this is an article from Cosmopolitan, of course. And I'm really interested to see how a magazine that is quite openly feminist, in my point of view, would like to portray themselves. So these 10 products that every feminist needs are more than just products. It's a way of sending a message of, hey, this is what Cosmopolitan thinks that feminists should have. And I know that that might seem obvious, but it's about values and principles too, right? Just tried to get that out of the way. Anyways, let's get into this list. Oh, by the way, in this video, when we talk about feminists, according to me, feminists right now are the SJW's extreme feminists. The feminists that are more like, let's put men down, and men are horrible and men are trash kind of feminists, just to clear the air on that. 1. Wear your feminist agenda literally on your sleeve with these 10 empowering pieces. Not only will you kickstart important conversations around gender inequality, but sales of some of these products go toward amazing causes and organizations. So I like the idea of causes and organizations, although we have to see what they are. And so these are like enamel pins, and they say things such as the future is still female, nasty, girl power. See, this is the thing. I don't know how these are really going to start conversations as much as someone's going to look at you and be like, okay, either she's a feminist or she's jumping onto the bandwagon. Because I also have a theory that a lot of these feminist slogans, you'll see them a lot on Instagram, right? Worn by girls, like shirts that say the future is female or feminist or girl gang, one that I've worn because I like the slogan, but to me it's not about feminism. But anyways, it has become a trend to see the word feminist, to have it printed. So I wonder how much of seeing this on someone would start a conversation versus someone saying, oh, that person's a feminist, or oh, that person thought that was trendy. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also, I've never really understood this whole the future is female thing. I don't know if I missed the memo because I'm not from the States and there's some kind of saying about the future being male, but the future is just the future and it's not gendered, thank God. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, I understand the idea of, women are going to be more empowered in the future and so on and so forth, but I don't know. Is it necessary on a pin? Not in my opinion. But anyways, if you have a feminist friend, I'll link this article so you can buy them some of this stuff. 2. Created by activist Mina Harris, this Maya Angelou inspired tee makes a bold statement and donates to 7 fearless women's organizations like Planned Parenthood and Girls Who Code. Plus, some of your favorite celebs like America Ferrera and Yara Shahidi are wearing it on Instagram. So, phenomenal woman, I like the message of that, the same way that I'd like the message of phenomenal man. Anything of self-empowering I think is great. I like that it's a Maya Angelou quote because she has written great things. The organizations it's donating to, I'm not so sure about. Like, I have no idea. Obviously, I know Planned Parenthood, but Girls Who Code. Yeah, so the whole thing of 7 fearless women's organizations, I don't know if I would say that money would be particularly well placed, but I don't know what the other organizations are. But I don't have a problem with this one. I think that it's a cool t-shirt, although it's kind of bland, really. 3. This dainty gold necklace will remind you to resist and persist every time you look in the mirror. Ugh, it was going reasonably well, and then we got to this. I've seen so many people on Instagram with necklaces like this saying feminist, and again, we talk about the bandwagon, how it's like cool and hip to be woke, and I feel like a lot of people who wear these kinds of necklaces aren't necessarily very aware of what it means to be a feminist, or what second wave feminism is compared to third wave feminism, and how feminism is right now. Because being realistic, feminism right now is, at least the way the media shows it, very extremely anti-man, right? So when I see these kinds of necklaces, I also wonder, why are you branding yourself like that? Like, there's nothing wrong if you want to write feminist. The funny thing is just, I was talking about it with Jacob, I've never seen any other group of people be so diehard to say, I am this. You know, like, even with Black Lives Matter, I see that less. I never see people with shirts that say, hey, Republican, hey, centrist, hey, like, you know, any kind of other cause, I see so much less. I feel like it's a trend rather than me actually saying, hey, this is what I believe in, and I believe in it because of X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I've made myself clear. Also, the fact that it's available at Nordstrom for $14 does make it somewhat trendier because it is in a store and it's like it's completely detached from what it means, you know? Like, if you bought this feminist necklace at the Women's March or some women's rights rally, that would be one thing, but I also think the place in which you buy the thing kind of contextualizes how you view it. Like, of course, there's going to be someone who goes into Nordstrom and knows exactly what feminism is, the definitions, what it stands for, what it used to be, and sadly what it is now. But there are also going to be some like 13-year-old girls who just go in and be like, oh my god, this is cute. So number 4, stay nasty by pinning these empowering buttons on everything from your jean jacket to your backpack. 50% of every purchase benefits women's organizations. So again, cool about the organizations. These are kind of like the first pins we saw. So wait, what's the difference again? So number 4 seems to be the same as number 1, or something is up with the website that's skewing everything. But the fact that it says stay nasty, so it's referring to Hillary Clinton, and I don't really know why they're trying to attach feminism and female power to Hillary Clinton, because I'm sure that there are plenty of feminists who don't really want to be associated with her and her behaviors. So I think that's kind of weird. But again, the same stands for what I said for number 1. It's just whatever. Like, girl power I can still get behind because it's just like, yay for girls, you know? But I don't know, I just find them kind of boring. So 5, strong female lead. Chic, functional, and feminist, the zipper pouch is the perfect accessory for on-the-go woman changing the world. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think it's cute. This is the thing. I think that when we obsess or overly emphasize femaleness, it's just kind of, it does the opposite. I don't know if that makes sense. This one I don't really have a problem with. I think it's cute. The only thing is I think it is a little bit, you know, like on the nose, like strong female lead. Like, I can still get behind boss babe and stuff like that. I just don't really like the wording of this one, but I digress. Number 6, start 'em young with this adorable onesie, the perfect gift for the mini feminist in your life. Yeah, this one I don't like. I don't like assigning these kinds of things to babies, and I know that babies won't even know what it says, like what this onesie says, pizza rolls, not gender roles. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, you know, it's funny seeing a baby wearing a Game of Thrones shirt or a baby wearing some kind of themed attire. But the thing is, politicizing a baby like that, honestly, I don't like. It makes me feel really weird, and it's just like a different creepy way of pushing an agenda in my point of view. And especially with this thing of like start them young, it just kind of seems like indoctrinate them quickly. But yeah, and then the whole thing of pizza rolls, not gender roles. Now, I'm totally fine with people not wanting to follow gender roles in a lot of ways. I don't follow gender roles. Most people I know don't follow gender roles. But if someone wants to follow a gender role, they are allowed to follow it. So pizza rolls, not gender roles, could be, you know, maybe they're just speaking particularly about this baby wearing this onesie who doesn't even know what pizza or gender roles are. But to completely kind of demonize gender roles, generally, it's... gender roles can be annoying and gender roles can be helpful. I think that's just really the end of it, right? 7, recline on this powerful pillow as you write to your representatives. Honestly, I wouldn't even be so bothered by so many of these products if it weren't for the silly descriptions. It's truly, truly cringy. Like, recline on this powerful pillow as you write your representatives. And it says feminists in multiple shades of like red and pink. Like I said, it goes back to this thing of like, why do you have to have all of these things that say what you are? Like, isn't it enough to know what you are? Because in my case, even when I was in SJW, I never went around with like a shirt saying I'm a feminist or fuck white people. I don't know. It just seems so over the top. You know, it's kind of like that one person who really thinks they're smart, so they have to tell you that they're smart all the time, and it's just like, just show me that you're smart. I don't need you to be like, I'm smart, I'm smart, I'm smart. I'll know. If I know you, I'll know. So all of this to me seems a bit like virtue signaling, like especially the pins.
Be like, oh, yeah, I'm actually a feminist, so just know that.
8. Coffee or tea, it is necessary when breaking the glass ceiling. So I like the cup. I'm not really going to comment on the descriptor because sigh. 9. This adult coloring and activity book is a great way to reduce stress and get inspired by badass women like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Malala Yousafzai. I never know how to pronounce her last name, sorry. I like this. I definitely like this. I don't know why Beyonce's on the cover, because I'm sure she's like a boss babe or whatever, but if we're talking about like inspiring people who change the world, how about Rosa Parks, you know? But that's my personal preference. It seems a little, you know, hypocritical to talk about people who are empowering and everything and then put a musician instead of someone who's like super, you know, like really changed the world. I'm not hating on Beyonce before I get the death threats. I'm just saying, Jesus. But I do really like the idea of a coloring book. I think that's really cool. 10. Pick your poison and pour it into this flask for a swig that speaks multitudes. 10% of sales go to Planned Parenthood of NYC. So, misogynist tears. Ugh, I'm so over anything that says tears on it. We've had man tears. I think I have a glass at home that says unicorn. Oh no, that's unicorn juice or unicorn water. Never mind. But anyways, I've seen so much stuff with tears that I'm just over it, and it's always about men. So obviously I don't like misogynists, but at the same time it's just like, you really want to go out of your way to buy a flask that's hating on someone, rather than, you could literally have a flask that says boss babe or white girl wasted, what the fuck do I know? But you specifically want one that's negative. Like, I'm not even a positive person, but this seems over the top to pay $18 for that. 11. Because men should be feminists too. 20% of proceeds go to the Environmental Defense Fund. Feminist dad. Ugh. I mean, I feel like if a dad wore it, he'd probably just be doing it to support his daughter, or they go by the actual definition of feminism. But again, that's what's really interesting to me about all of this. It's this needing to brand yourself all over of like, I am feminist. And I realize that the SJW feminists that we are referring to think that this is like a horrible climate and that everything is terrible and, you know, they're just being attacked on all sides. Obviously, they've forgotten about the Middle East and all that and how things are for women in other places in the world, but I digress. Anyways, I thought this was really interesting to look at because it is a very interesting phenomenon how feminism has not only become a trend to be feminist and wear feminist kind of gear, but it also is interesting how this idea of literally branding yourself with your beliefs has become so widespread that places like Forever 21 or other online retailers I've seen, like last night, will have shirts that say feminist. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. What do you think about all of these things? What do you think it means that people want to super brand themselves this way? And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let's get on.